Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and any non-binary people in the chat. Welcome, we see you. Welcome to my Artist on Artist live interview. I am your host, Ivan Quesada, also known as Mr. Flames96 on all social media. And I am joined by the phenomenal and lovely and ever so present Hans Probst. He is an MFA1 actor and a part of my cohort. And I am super excited to just have a conversation with you about this art and this craft. So please tell them about yourself.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Hans Probst. I am an actor. I've been acting since I was in middle school. I was a very, very shy kid. I would get up in front of my class and I would deliver a highly rehearsed presentation directly to my shoes. And it was,
There you go.
It was debilitating to the point where my mother said, we have to do something about this.
There you go.
And she kind of negotiated with another parent, said, hey, I'm going to offer you, your kid some lessons in Spanish. In exchange, can you get Hans into this summer theater program?
Sick.
It's a summer theater program. And it changed everything for me.
That's awesome.
It was a musical. It was Guys and Dolls. So singing, dancing, acting, all that.
How old were you?
I was 13 going on 14, I want to say.
Little guy.
And I couldn't sing, couldn't dance, but I loved the acting.
There you go.
And
That's
so
great.
I just kept going out for different programs and continued with that company until eventually that company went under.
Okay.
And then continued that through high school. And then I allowed myself to be convinced that acting wasn't for me. I needed to explore other things out there.
That's so sad.
Yeah, I know. It was, but that was part of growing up.
That's part of the journey, for sure. Yeah,
that's
part of the
journey.
journey.
You have to find out what you love and what you don't love. And I fell in love with theater right away, so it was time to experiment with other things.
Definitely. I feel like that's like the pretty classical, like high school drama kid like experience. You know what I mean? Like you do drama and plays and musical theater throughout your high school career, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to try something else while I'm out away. So that's really cool. I had a different experience. I actually was more of like a video editor at the time. Like I was really into movies. So growing up, I used to like make little films like on my dad's phone or like whatever. And then I joined the video production team, so I learned how to edit. And then I was part of what my high school called like the leadership class, which is basically where we just like filmed all of like the little commercials for homecoming or like this is what happened this week or whatever, you know, and I was part of that team of just like editors and video people. And then it wasn't until my my senior year, I had a buddy who was auditioning for one of the shows on campus. So I was with them to like prepare for it. And I was like, oh, this, like they were rehearsing with me. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I'm having fun like running these lines with you. Like, I kind of want to try it. So they invite me to go. I ended up going by myself. They ended up not showing up. And I was sitting there waiting for them out because they went to the continuation school. And I'm like sitting there like waiting for them to show up. They never show up. So I go to the, it wasn't an audition. It wasn't like a normal audition. It was kind of just like show up. And so I showed up and they gave us the script and we started reading it. And what I didn't know at the time in like that first moment was that the director just gave me the lead. He was just like, here's Josh. You're reading for Josh.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, Josh, I can do a Josh, you know what I'm saying? So then I read for Josh and the director loved it, like hyped me up about it. And then we started the rehearsal process. I get cast as Josh, the lead role in a gnarly play called Bang Bang You're Dead. I don't know if you've heard of it.
That one is starting to ring a bell.
It's about a school shooter. Okay. And it's about like, it was like post Columbine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a true story, but it's based on a true story. Like of all the school shootings that happened, like 2010?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first experience.
It's not relevant today, obviously.
Right, no, of course not. Kidding, obviously. It's a very serious issue. But yeah, that was my first experience with like theater and I just fell in love with it like since, and I haven't stopped doing it since then. So yeah, that was my experience with it.
Very cool. And after I had experimented with the real world.
The real world,
the corporate world, and I would have a job and I'd have that job for like a month because I hated it. And then I'd go on to a different job.
Yeah.
And just try to make ends meet. And eventually, after I had moved back home.
Yeah. Where's home?
Home is the Bay Area.
Okay, nice.
So this was all like down in San Diego area.
Oh shit! You were living in San Diego?
Yes.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Wait, from when to when?
From 2009 to I want to say 2012.
Oh fuck.
That period of time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
because I grew up in San Diego, so like that was my stomping grounds
That's
for
why
like
when
forever.
you mentioned it, I was like, oh, hey,
That's
I
crazy.
know what you're talking about.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And
The
then
theater world down there is so interesting too.
When I came back, I rediscovered my love for theater, and
Sweet.
my mother actually had started with a bunch of other people that were part of that company that I
Totally.
grew up with.
Yeah.
After that went down, they got some directors involved, and they started a brand new company, and then I started teaching with them.
Sick.
And that was my way back into it.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, nope, switching my major.
Yep.
I'm going back to theater. This is what I should have been doing this entire time.
That is lovely. Yeah. That is really lovely. Wow. And now you're here.
Now I'm here.
That's amazing. So I like to start off these interviews, and I don't know if you've seen any of the previous ones, but I really like to start by asking why. Because again, I think understanding our why is extremely important. So why do you do this? Why are you here? Why do you get up every day and decide to walk into this room?
Well, because I love it.
Yeah.
That's the best. It's entirely selfish reasons.
Yeah.
I love being an actor.
Yeah.
I love getting up and doing theater with people like you, with people in our cohort.
Definitely.
And I've begun to realize that if I'm not doing what I love, I'm taking on so much more resentment.
Right.
I have so much more negativity in my life.
Wow.
And I bring that negativity home to the people that I care about.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, like, well, what's missing? What's the easy solution?
Yeah.
Well, it's just this. I just have to flip the switch. I'm not doing what I'm loving.
Yeah.
If I do what I love, I come home with this positivity.
Yeah.
And I get to spread it with everybody else.
Yeah.
So we talked about how in the D-Lab class that we just recently had about actors kind of feeling incomplete when they're not in the character.
Right.
And I do kind of feel like that applies to myself.
No,
if I'm not acting,
if I'm not in a show,
what am I doing right now? What am I doing with my life right now?
Oh man, yes. No, I understand that very well. Like same, because like for example, like the summer would come around at my community college and I'm not in a show and I'm just like, I feel strange. Yeah. I don't feel right in my body right now. Like I want to be in a room working on something, you know, getting my hands on something. Like I just want to be working on some sort of, I want to be working on this craft like all the time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's such a beautiful feeling being here. So tell me how you got here. What was that experience like? How did you go from, like you just mentioned, going home, rediscovering that love, and then making the decision to like come here?
Well, after I had graduated from San Francisco State with my BA in theater,
nice.
I thought I knew everything I needed to know.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm confident. I have the tools. It was a great program, but
for sure,
I did not know.
No, yeah,
absolutely not. I was not prepared for what the career ahead of me was actually going to be.
For sure, yeah.
And so I did the acting thing. I got an agent for a while, then she retired. And in the meantime, I was teaching at that company that my mother had founded.
Yeah.
Then that company eventually went under.
Right.
I moved to LA and thought, okay, let's do the LA actor thing.
When did you move to LA?
I moved to LA in 2019.
Okay, nice. Nice. Damn, like pre-pandemic.
Okay, so maybe it was 2018 because I left during the pandemic.
Oh,
and I was here for about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I was like way out in like Diamond Bar.
Got it.
So I was really far from the
like downtown.
The action here.
Got it.
And then I moved back during the pandemic.
Right.
My
crazy time.
girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife.
Shout out. Put a ring on it for real. That's funny.
She had an opportunity for a job back in her hometown.
Okay, sick.
So it just made sense. To go ahead and go back home.
For sure. Yeah.
And then a couple months passed. I was feeling a little down because I tried the LA actor thing.
For sure.
It didn't happen.
No, that shit's rough.
Yeah. And eventually there was an opportunity to once again become a teaching artist. There was a casting call sort of for teaching artists.
Okay, sick.
And that allowed me to get involved with a theater that was right in that town.
Okay.
And then another more prestigious theater in Berkeley.
Okay,
so once again, I was back in it.
There you go. That's kind of how it be, huh?
Exactly. And I was teaching for a long time, loving it, trying to act as much as I can, but it was a bit of a challenge to balance.
Of course, yeah.
And then I got this one role in a Eugene O'Neill play, Morning Becomes Electra.
Oh, wow.
And if you're familiar with the play, it is a doozy. It's like a 5-hour play. And it's set right after the Civil War. And I was cast as this character, or in a character who is coming back from the Civil War, a shell of himself,
Yeah.
who has these very mixed up feelings about the women in his family,
Yeah.
and he's wrestling with that, with his
Yeah.
PTSD.
Was he North or South?
He was North.
Okay.
He was North.
Cool.
And he comes home and he's obsessed with death. And I had been playing this character and really fully committing to, because it was at Eugene O'Neill's actual house.
Oh, wow.
In Danville. It was a really cool experience.
That's gnarly.
It was, but there's something about performing a Eugene O'Neill play in Eugene O'Neill's
No,
house,
for sure. Yeah.
playing that kind of character.
No, for sure.
And committing as hard as I did, it felt like I was playing with fire.
No, absolutely.
And
hearing you say that, it feels like that.
And I'm not ashamed to admit I got burned.
Oh,
I got a little burned from it.
That's rough.
And it affected my psyche so much. I was able to do good work there,
For
but
sure.
then I was just miserable every other time.
Damn.
And I'm thinking something's not clicking. Something's
Right.
not quite right.
right.
Something in my approach is unhealthy to
Mhm.
me as an
Wow.
artist. So that's what prompted me to all of a sudden think, you know what? Let's get more training.
Right.
Let's get more professional training.
Yeah.
Let's get some better tools
To deal with this.
to understand what it is that I'm doing, why I'm feeling these
Right.
things, how to process these in
Right.
a healthy way so that I can do these kind of roles and not,
and come out okay.
yeah,
And not bring that home.
not get burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not bring it home too. Because that, I feel like a lot of actors struggle with that. Is like putting on something so heavy and not bringing it home.
Yeah.
You know? So then you had that experience. You decided to get training. How did you get here?
I did the IRTAs.
Oh, okay, sick.
On
Where?
top of, down here in
Okay,
LA,
nice.
which is
nice.
a bit of a strange experience. Cause
I heard,
you were being filmed sort of
Yeah.
like now.
Yeah. I heard about that.
But you still had to drive all the way to LA just
Yeah.
to be in front of a camera.
Yeah, makes
to
no
audition
sense.
for all of these,
Yeah, it makes no
these
sense.
programs here.
Yeah, makes
And
no sense.
then CalArts reached out to me, and I loved their body first approach that they were preaching
For sure.
about
Yeah,
coming from the inside
Yeah.
out with our acting.
for sure.
And I thought that's great. I'm not going to get in my head.
Yeah,
It's all here.
yeah.
And then they mentioned something about wearing the character like wearing clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that.
Yeah, I didn't hear them say that,
Separation
but that idea
yeah,
is, yeah,
separation between
sure.
actor and character
For
is
sure.
so important.
absolutely.
And I never heard anyone else really preach it in quite that way.
Right.
And then it also just made sense because now my wife, Audrey, had gotten into a program with psychology. She's
Sick.
studying to become a mental health therapist.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
And she has to get her license in the state that she wants to practice in.
Mm.
And so I was looking at all these programs around the
Mhm.
country, and there was one in California, our
Mhm.
home. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to convince her to move to Kansas City, Missouri, or
Yeah,
anything
probably
like that,
not.
or Cleveland, Ohio.
For sure.
so
No.
that I
My
could
limited experience
yeah,
of your wife, yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
so that I could get my MFA.
Yeah.
And so it just made sense.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of things aligning.
Yes, I was about to say that. It sounds like all the bricks are
Exactly.
falling in. That's so cool. So then you auditioned, you got accepted, and now you're here.
And now I'm here.
That's amazing.
And she came with me.
Yeah, your wife is lovely.
She is.
Yeah. Meeting her during the Psychosis production was fun. Yeah, that was cool. She had a lot. She was very insightful. She's extremely intelligent.
She's incredibly intelligent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you need that.
I
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're
No, but I know. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely, I do, and it's emotional intelligence.
No, for sure.
too, 'cause-
Yeah, that's
'cause
extremely
she does
important.
know how to process her feelings.
Of
She
course,
feels
of course.
everything all the time.
Yeah.
And so,
And that's extremely important.
and now she's gaining so much more knowledge on
Yeah.
how to help other people
For sure.
go through their
Go through that
emotions.
process.
'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of overlap with psychology and acting.
absolutely.
We're both trying to understand
Absolutely.
human
Oh,
beings
absolutely.
just for different means. They're
Yes,
trying to help people.
absolutely.
We're trying to become them.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that I had a coach tell me was learning how to be an actor is learning how to be a human being. And that's it.
Yeah.
And so like all of the training that I've gotten was just that, was just learning how to just remove all the bullshit and remove all the habituals like we're still doing, which is insane. Because I've been doing like the remove habituals shit for a while and just trying to get as most human as possible through my body, through my psychology, through my mental health, through my emotional intelligence. So yeah, psychology and acting are one and the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because you really, because who said it the other day? I think it was Lars that said, or was it Tina that talked about like our job as actors is to do all the research, doing this, reading up on psychology, reading up on like if our character has like schizophrenia or something, understanding schizophrenia to a core is extremely important for us as actors to then embody a character that has schizophrenia.
Yeah, otherwise,
You know what I mean?
We're faking it.
Exactly,
otherwise.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's more important to play the truth of something than it is our idea of it, what we think of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's so much more important. So that's fascinating that you said that. So my next question is, I'll keep it simple. I'll keep this one simple. What's been your favorite role ever so far? So far.
Oren. Because it was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Because it was the one that got away.
Yeah.
The one that pushed me the most to my breaking point.
For sure.
And then made me discover that I have so much more to learn.
For sure.
But I also did a production of Much Ado About Nothing, where I got to play the character Claudio.
Sick.
Who's he shames his soon-to-be wife at his wedding.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a wiener. But
he's kind of a coward for sure.
Exactly. But it was great to see the positivity, the humanity behind it, the actual feelings that were coming up for this character in the moment to play an asshole.
Right.
And still find that glimmer of humanity.
Yeah.
And it was really, really wonderful to bring that to the character.
Yeah. So
those two are probably my two favorites, but
sick.
I'd probably put Oren at the top.
Yeah. I hear you on why too. My next question, you mentioned your BA. It's a BA, right?
Yes.
It was a BA. What's like, I want to say one, but I also want to say like five. Like what's like 5 things that you got from your BA that you think are like the most helpful things for you as an actor, and also things that you tap into the most? Like what are things that you learned in your undergrad, in your experience so far, that you tap into the most and that you use the most, and that if you needed to teach it to someone, you could bring that out very easily?
Okay. 5 things.
It doesn't have to be 5. If you can get to 5, cool, but it doesn't have to be.
Let's see if I can even get one.
Yeah.
So I got to learn from Professor Laura Waith at San Francisco State. And the thing that she did was she broke a lot of my bad habits early on of projecting the character. As opposed to just simply being.
Just being,
being wearing the character.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that was a big thing for me, was less is more.
For sure.
Less is often so much more.
Simplicity.
Yes. So that was, there we go. We got one. Another one that I did, this is actually something that I disagree with one of my fellow peers.
Okay.
Where he said, "Don't be afraid to be boring." And he said that in this film acting class, and I thought, well, you're boring.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be interesting.
Right.
Don't be afraid to bring a little bit of life into these characters, because ultimately, why are we watching otherwise?
Right.
If these people are actually boring.
Yeah, mundane is the word that I like to use. Yeah, mundane.
So that was one that I kind of it was a disagreement that formed to something that I do preach now.
Fascinating.
Taking care of yourself, really.
Absolutely.
Taking care of your body, your mind, your voice. I still feel like I need more vocal training.
Me too.
Which is why doing stuff with Heidi has been some of my favorite parts of this program.
Absolutely.
Do a little bit of everything.
For sure.
The program that I did wasn't just acting. Even though I was a theater performance emphasis, they had you being a stage manager. They had you working in the tech as well.
I could never stage manage, bro. I did take a stage management class at UC, because I went to UCSD for my BA, and I was like, I have to sit in the front. I like purposely sat right in front of the professor, literally just because I was like, if I sit anywhere else, I'm gonna fail this class. Swear to God. And so I sat in the front, and it helped me stay in it, so it was cool.
And I think what's great about that approach to
Yeah.
theater is you do get to see all the other people
For
that
sure.
are involved in
Oh, absolutely.
all of the hard work that goes into
Yeah.
putting on a production.
Yeah.
It gives you that kind of appreciation.
For sure.
And you see the production
Yeah,
from a new angle.
for sure.
And I
I
think
can
that's
imagine.
so invaluable.
Absolutely.
So that was helpful, especially if you are working at a theater company. And oftentimes theater companies aren't very well staffed, that you have to
True.
wear multiple hats.
Multiple hats, yep.
And when I was working for these theater companies, I was the director. I was the stage manager. I was rigging the lights. I was running the sound.
Wow.
I was picking costumes
Wow.
out for my students. And I was so thankful that I had experience
Right.
with all of
Touching
that.
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because it didn't feel unfamiliar to me.
for sure. That's cool.
And let's see if I can get 5.
Hmm.
Let's see if I can get number
You got it.
5.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Your confidence means everything to me.
I appreciate it.
Um,
It's my best
okay,
quality.
here's one. Here's one. At San Francisco State, there was this program called Brown Bag. It was a really
Okay.
cool program
Yeah.
where every week it was a different show,
Sure.
like an hour-long show. And I was very hesitant to be a part of that program simply because of the time constraints. But I
Right.
think also my confidence level was a little
For sure.
low. And my
That takes time to build, too.
Exactly. And my girlfriend, who later became my wife,
Sure.
just said, do it.
There you go.
Just do it.
You just need that push
Just
sometimes.
go out and just do the program. And I did. And it was incredible. I got to be in 3 productions
Yeah.
over the course of that one semester and
Sick.
help out everybody else with their productions as well.
That's sick.
And so I think it was just, don't overthink. Just leap into
Yeah.
it.
Just jump in.
You'll jump
Just
in.
jump in.
You'll figure it out. I promise. You can figure it
Yes,
out. But
just
you
jump in.
Just get into the pool.
Literally, dude. Yeah. That took me a long time too, to just jump into things, because in my training, same thing with the confidence. It took me a long time to really find that confidence inside myself to just jump in. I struggled. I would be the last person to go sometimes, and I hated that. But then I just kept going, and then I would push myself. I would work really hard to push myself, and my professors, phenomenal professors, would do the same. Just would push us gently, you know what I mean? And so it took me a little bit to build that confidence, but once I got it, I was like, I'm in it.
Because I think it's that fear of failure.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Absolutely.
looking at it as something negative.
Yeah.
And trying to flip that on your head.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I'm not always perfect about that.
Of course, yeah, me neither.
I will often make the safer choice.
Of course.
Because it just feels
It feels right to our fight or flight. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But you're not growing. You're not
Right.
You're
Exactly.
You're not doing anything
Exactly.
to help you become the better version of
Of
yourself.
course. That safeness is stagnant.
Yeah.
You know? Didn't we just talk about this with Lars about like you should fail greatly?
Yeah.
That was instilled in me so early on, to like not be afraid of failing, to just jump in and fail every time, because then you learn something.
Yeah.
And it becomes more magical.
And it's because it's not fight or flight.
Right.
It's triggers in there, but you're not gonna die.
No, you're not gonna die.
You come up
You
there
literally,
and you give a crappy performance.
literally, nothing's gonna.
You'll be
like,
fine. And
people might laugh at you, but like,
and then you'll grow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. Those are all great. What would you call that? Like words to live by?
Lessons.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So my next question, I'm very curious as to like, because you mentioned that you wanted to get this training. Now you're here. When coming into CalArts, what were like the biggest challenges that you had, and do you think you've been able to tackle those so far? I know we have 2 more years still, but what are the biggest challenges that you came in with, and have you been able to tackle some of those?
One of my biggest challenges is I will say that I'm a pretty good teacher.
Okay.
I'm not the best student.
Mm.
Just if you look at the transcripts, if you look at the papers, you could look at the letters and say, I don't know about this one here.
Yeah.
He was not the greatest student.
No, tell me about it.
And I had some concern because I did bring a little bit of that with me
For sure.
in my undergraduate.
For sure.
And I was kicking myself for years
Yeah.
afterwards that I didn't try harder, that I didn't
sure.
work a little bit harder
Yeah.
to reach my full potential.
I completely understand
I
that.
think I was a little worried that was going to happen.
For sure.
and it hasn't happened so far.
There you go.
I've been able to balance work and life
Yeah.
a lot more,
That's great.
despite all the demands that
Yeah.
this program has for
No,
us.
for sure. Program is
so-
extremely demanding.
Yeah, getting organized was huge.
Yeah.
Having dedicated workspace
For sure.
in your home,
For sure.
and being accountable to you and to
Yeah.
the other cohorts,
Yeah.
knowing that if I don't come in prepared,
Yeah.
I'm letting you
You're
down.
letting someone down. You're letting yourself down. You're letting
yeah.
your cohort down.
And since we've all grown so close in
Yeah.
such a short period of time,
It's extremely important.
my fear of failure is now my fear of failing you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I hear that.
That propels me to do what I can so that
Yeah.
I can come in and be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. Preparation is the fear to anxiety.
Yeah.
Is one of the biggest quotes that I have as well from, my mentors in the past. That's great. Wow. So what do you have coming up?
Well, right now,
What are you currently working on?
I'm going to be in the play that Damla has written, Tailor-Made Paranoia.
Yeah.
That's still a ways away as far as getting it up on its feet. But
Yeah.
that is supposed to be happening this semester, which will be
Sick.
very exciting.
And who's directing that?
Damla.
She's directing
She's
it.
the writer, she's the director, and I'm very excited to see how she is as a director. And then the other show that I'm in right now is called Avriel's Guide to Love and Lost. And that was written by Jules, the MFA
Yes.
producer here.
Yes.
And directed.
You'll meet Jules eventually.
Yes. And directed by Ege, which I believe you already interviewed.
Yes. They invited us last night, actually. We're going to see it, when did it, like March?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in it?
I'm in
Oh,
it.
that's awesome.
Yes, it is entirely female and non-binary, with the exception of this guy over here.
This sexy gentleman here.
And I'm playing a character called Narvok the Destroyer.
Okay,
The Destroyer of the Seas. Excuse me,
Okay.
I got my name wrong. Narvok, Destroyer of the Seas. He is a pirate.
Okay, that's great.
He's
Oh, that's right. I remember you
Yes,
mentioning that.
I
Yeah.
mentioned that in Heidi, that doing this crazy pirate voice has knocked the wind out of me.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
That was my winter session.
There
was
you
working
go.
on this show.
Wow.
And I'm very excited for that one.
That's awesome.
Because now it's at the point where we staged it, we have it up, and Ege is breaking it all down so that we can build it back up again.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting to be in that portion of the rehearsal process.
That's cool. Hell yeah. Okay, so before I ask you my final question, is there any topics you want to get into?
I think I'm curious about your preparation.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I've always been curious about how each individual member of our cohorts, if you
Prepares.
you're given a scene, you're given
Yeah.
a piece of theater,
Sure.
what's the first thing you do?
That's a great question. So my follow-up question, or a clarifying question, is this for just a scene or for like a play as a whole?
Let's go with the full play.
A full play?
Someone gives you the role Josh.
Oh shit.
What do you do?
Oh gosh. Well, obviously read the play. But when I get cast in something, I don't read the play until we read it together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I do that, but that just feels right to me. Once I have the energy of everyone in the room, like who's playing what, once I see their faces, once I know who I'm going to be playing with, and I felt their energy through the reading, then I hyper focus reading the play as many times as I can, and then memorizing as efficiently as I possibly can, so I can be off book as quickly as I possibly can, and then because I get really excited about doing scene work, right? So I do my best to just memorize as quickly as I can. I read my lines over and 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 over. A memorizing technique that I've learned for myself is that I'll memorize the muscles in my mouth.
So the actual
So
shapes
like
your
the
mouth
shapes
are
that my
making
mouth
as you
are
make
making
these
as I'm
words.
speaking these words.
Do you do it like in front of a mirror? Or
No,
you record
I
yourself,
just take I just focus my energy on just how my mouth is moving when I'm saying those words.
Interesting.
Because like I spoke about this in our voice or our speech class the other day, how like I've had a lot of IPA, I've had a lot of diction classes and a lot of voice classes in the past, and so like and it's elevated my language. And so because I used to stutter a lot, I used to speak very slang, like my language used to be very unclear when I would speak. And so I've made like a very conscious effort to be as clear as I possibly can when I am speaking. And that required me to focus my energy on how my mouth is placed when I'm saying certain words, right? Because we did Lysac structure, which is specifically like the structure of the mouth when producing certain vowels. And so now when I'm memorizing a text, I hyperfocus where my mouth is.
Do you find that you fixate it a little bit when you're performing?
No, actually, no, I don't. No. Because once I'm performing it, once I have the muscle memory of it, my mind lets go of it, and then I focus on the emotion and just being as present as I possibly can, and focusing on that inner monologue. And so that's kind of how my process goes. Like, because I don't really understand a play until I've seen the play.
Right.
And so because theater's supposed to be seen. Like I know myself well enough to the point where I struggle reading a play and understanding it.
Yeah.
And like seeing the vision of it. Like, I don't know why, I just can't. So when I read Shakespeare for the first time, I'm lost. And it's not until like if I don't get a chance to see Shakespeare, I read it as much as I can to understand it. But once I see it, I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand the message. I understand this whole thing. I know where I need to be. And so once we run through a scene a couple times, and I'm like, okay, and the director's obviously extremely helpful whenever they're blocking us. So then I memorize the blocking, memorize my lines. Then I really start to play with the emotion of it. Mm-hmm. That's once the blocking is in and once the lines are in, that's when I really like to play with the emotion, play with the blocking. I like to improvise a lot just to I just really like to tackle it from so many different angles whenever I'm like playing a character. I bring in it from this, I bring comedy and I bring sadness and I bring all different emotions, even if it doesn't have that emotion in it. Mm-hmm. I like to bring everything in just to try and find as much as possible.
The 7 layers, right?
Yeah, all the layers, yeah, because like another big note that a mentor gave me a long time ago was like, your job as an actor is to come in to a rehearsal off book with 10 options every time.
Yeah.
And so like I just play as much as possible, and I'm constantly, even in the rehearsal process, I'm constantly trying to I'm just trying different shit until something feels right, until the director's like, that one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then I just try to, I do my best to stay as present as I possibly can, focus my partner and my energy, let go of those thoughts. And then all the technical shit, you know what I mean? Like you start acting before you even come in, like things like that, you know what I mean? I try to take all of the wisdom and all of the knowledge that I've gathered from all of my mentors and all of my teachers and all my directors and just bring it as much as I possibly can into it and just bring it alive. That's kind of how my process goes.
I'm glad you mentioned that someone told you, show up first rehearsal off book. Someone told me that early on, and so that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked how many times we've run into situations when actors don't, they weren't told that apparently,
right.
Or they don't follow that rule,
right.
And they show up book in hand, nose down,
yes,
giving you nothing.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking, okay, well, I'll do my best.
No, literally.
Act around this person that's
seriously
saying words.
Yeah. Because it's like, there's like a standard to professionalism that I've learned really early. And one of them is, once a scene is blocked, the next time you practice that scene, you're off book.
Yeah.
That's like standard. That's standard. And so, and I'm not perfect at it. There's definitely been times where like I'm struggling with a scene because I know I'm struggling with something when I'm saying a line and I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to memorize. If I don't understand what is being said or why it's being said, I struggle, one, to memorize it, and then two, to like really play at it.
Yeah.
And so like that's where I find the challenge. Is like, what does that mean? When this character says that specific thing, what the fuck does that mean? What are they saying? How are they saying it? And once I can get that, I love moments like that. I really do, because all the rest of it the rest of it's fun, but then there's that moment that's just like sticking out and I'm just like, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I find moments like that really entertaining. Yeah, but yeah, that's my approach.
Oh, it's a great approach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as scene work, same thing, just memorizing as quickly as possible, and then again, just playing with it as much as possible. Like I think my scene with Bryn, our first semester, was so phenomenal, simply just because of the fact that we ran it so many times. We went over and over and over and over and just kept fucking going with it. and finding new things. Every time we ran it, we discovered something. Every single fucking time. And yeah, that's what I love about it. Just like the repetition.
I think what I loved most about that scene was there were no expectations
Right.
for how it was going to go.
Right.
From an audience point of view. I'd
For
seen
sure.
you all perform the scene
Yeah,
a few times.
for sure.
That one time when people were just interrupting you.
Yes, that was fun. Yeah.
Throughout the process.
That one was fun. We learned a lot from that
Yeah,
too. There's just like little, that's like another part of my approach to a scene is that like I like to do things like that where we just go out of pocket with it. You know what I mean? Just try something that we might discover, you know? And that we helped a lot. That helped a lot actually. So yeah.
And it was
Anyway,
wonderful because you had, it surprised me.
Right.
I was taken off guard.
Yeah.
From a scene that I had become a little bit familiar with.
For sure. Yeah.
And you both came in with this entirely new energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it really felt like this thing that was happening in front of me was happening for the very first time.
Yeah.
And I know that from being behind the curtain, it's not happening for the first time.
Yeah.
You've taken so much time, so many repetitions just to get to that point where you can just dive right in and feel authentic and just rely on your imagination to carry you the rest of the way.
Imagination is huge. That's like another part of my approach is that I especially when I need to do something emotional, like I make a very conscious effort to bring in my actor's imagination and my actor's faith to a scene so that I can produce those emotions. Because I don't like to produce from like personal experience. That doesn't feel right to me. I mean, obviously we always do, like there's a certain personal experience that we have, but whenever it's about producing an emotion, it is coming from a personal experience, but it's also coming from an imaginated circumstance. That's where the emotion comes from.
I think it's more powerful that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's more authentic.
Yeah, I agree.
When you are drawing from yourself, there's going to be some sort of difference. There's going to be some sort of disconnect between your experience and the experience of the characters going through. Even if it is similar, very similar. You're not going through that right now.
Exactly.
You're drawing on a memory to bring that out,
and that's just opening a wound.
Yeah.
You know. So I've never liked that, but that's just my experience. Okay, I do have another question actually, because there's a lot of techniques that we're learning here, like Alexander and Shakespeare and all that stuff. Is there any technique that you learned like outside of here, like Meisner or like point of view, Chekhov, like anything like that?
I had a little bit of the Stella Adler approach.
Okay, sick.
With my BA, which was again imagination based, which really spoke to me.
Of course.
But as far as my approach, I like to think that you do what works.
Yeah.
You can pull a lesson from Meisner.
For sure.
And you're not a Meisner actor.
For sure.
You're just taking a little bit and you're going to create your own mosaic, your own technique.
And if it works, it works.
Yeah, I don't think you should necessarily subscribe to a specific acting technique because there's so much out there. And don't close yourself off to the possibility that some other point of view is going to affect this character and affect this moment.
Yeah.
So I think you do what works.
Yeah. Because it's a toolbox.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that we learned too, is that because I've done all kinds of stuff, Chekhov, Meisner, Shakespeare, point of view, mask work, and I don't consider myself like a Meisner actor, even though I have the training. You know what I mean? Like you said, I pull from all over the place because all of those things are things in our toolbox that we can use. And my dad does construction, so that feels real to me. You know what I mean? Like that fucking big ass belt that they have to put on. I literally imagine it in that way. So. That's how I approach acting as like a whole, which is fun. So my final question for you is, what do you plan to do after? Once you're done with CalArts, where do you see yourself?
I see myself acting. I know. It's a concept, but I learned the lesson that I should.
Yes, of course.
I'm not happy when I'm not.
Right.
But I also love to teach. I really do.
Yeah. Do you see yourself teaching?
I absolutely see.
Like, do you see yourself doing both?
I see myself doing both.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I see a future.
That's awesome.
Whether that's immediately teaching right after, or maybe go out.
Yeah. Explore.
Go ahead and do the battle of being an actor a working actor for a little while.
With a master's though.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's
that's a huge difference.
I think that was another reason why I went, was because when I was doing this show, and I thought, why is nobody else as miserable as I am right now? I looked at their resumes and I said, oh, MFA, BFA, another BFA, MFA. Huh. these people are trained.
Mhm.
These people are really trained. They know how to like parse things out and
Yeah, yeah,
manage
yeah.
their emotions and
yeah.
expectations. So
Where you're just doing it raw.
Yeah.
It's funny as fuck, dude. I'm sure it was extremely difficult at the
it
time.
was,
but look, like in
but I'm just
hindsight,
like,
that's really
oh
funny.
God, okay, so there's something to this.
For sure.
There's something
Yeah.
to having that training and
For sure,
confidence.
absolutely.
So you have everything in your belt.
Yeah.
So that if something is challenging, you can
Yeah.
just say, okay, this what I'm doing
Yeah.
right now, it's not working. Let's try this one out
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah. And the thing we learned with 4 and 48 psychosis, what did they call it? What did she call it? Not the warm up, but the opposite.
It was.
You know what I'm talking about? Like the
the
bone
D-roll?
tapping. The D-roll, thank you.
D-roll.
I had never done that before.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. Yeah.
Taking a moment to
just
for yourself.
Yeah.
To let it all go.
Yeah.
To come back to you
Yeah.
as the individual.
Yeah.
So invaluable.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. That was Hans. I'm your host, Ivan Quesada. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next week. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say?
Dive in.
Dive in. Okay, bye.